the one thing, so that's like there's like 4 parts that I wanted to like break down in this podcast, if that's okay. I don't know what your time schedule is. I mean, we've been going for
I'm here.
You know, we've been going for 30 minutes, but I think the third step that you've been saying throughout this entire conversation, and the entire conversation was like, oh, I learned that as an introvert, it's better to like smile as an extrovert, and then you just said right now where it's like, I want something that is like out there. So you're basically talking about, because you said the word introvert, and so as a friend, I'm like a big extrovert, and I know that you're definitely introvert. And how I say this, is like when I first met you, you know, as I like to say with you, and I've said this before, is when we first get together in any interaction, the first like 15 to 30 minutes, it's like, all right, it's like silent time. We're revving it up.
I would say some days.
Some days. Well,
when work is stressful, I would.
Right.
No,
but that's totally fine with me. Because I'm learning. I learn about, you know, every friend's a little bit different, and then it slowly grows. And I think one of the coolest things about our relationship is that we can just like sit in silence and totally be okay with it. But when it comes to the like introvert extrovert thing, how do you define yourself now? And is there like a positive side of being introvert and also like a positive or negative side, I guess you could say, about like being an extrovert? So what does that like evolution look like, and how did you know that it was time for a kind of like a change, if that makes sense?
Like, you're correct. I was very introverted growing up, and I would see my extrovert friends and how they were able to connect with other people, how they would make you feel happy, and I wanted that. I wanted to be like them. I wanted other people to feel towards me the way that they feel about this extroverted person. And so that really, you know, inspired me to like analyze and observe what extroverts do, whether it's like their facial expressions or their tone of their voice or their whatever physical movements, and really copy that. And over the years, I have become a lot more outgoing, a lot more extroverted. You could say at core I'm still an introvert, and I would probably say that, but I would consider myself an outgoing introvert.
Right. I mean, do you get exhausted when you interact with people for a long period of time?
Not necessarily,
like,
but
where
I
do you
do
get your
like
energy from?
I do. I feel like I do get energy from being around other people, but I do like to be like alone in my room sometimes, just to be like alone and just decompress and work on my own thing. What was I gonna say?
You're talking about how like one thing regarding like being an introvert.
Oh, the pros. I remember you asked about the pros and cons. There's no like good or bad. Like being an introvert or extrovert is, you know, it's great either way. However, I do believe there are a lot of benefits of being extroverted. And that's just the way kind of like our society is. Like, if you're able to communicate with others, if you're able to connect with others on a deep level, that's beneficial. You know?
Yeah, it's so beneficial.
So, and that's why I wanted to be more extroverted. And I know that a lot of people were in the same situation, or are in the same situation that I was, you know, as a 15-year-old, and have asked me how to be more extroverted. And always.
How do you
empathize with that?
How do you like? Okay, so I've been an extrovert all my life. Like that's just like who I am. But I've been able to like kind of like hone it down now, where, like kind of like in a social sense. Not social manipulation, but in the social sense where there are cues of when to like talk to someone and when to go in. It's kind of like, you know, riding a bike. The more you ride the bike, the better balance you get and understanding. And now you can spot the car that's about to hit you, and then you can suddenly stop. And anything. So I've been doing this on and on and on and on. So I'm always curious when an introvert, or in this case says, I'm going to be more extroverted, right? How the hell, like, how do you push yourself to be like, you know what? Come on, Markian. It's time to talk to somebody. Hi. Like, how?
Yeah.
How do you? But I'm always wondering, because like when someone goes, Jonathan, go talk to that person. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is in the mind of someone that's an introvert that's never like doesn't get that energy of just like stepping up and being like, hello. So what?
Yeah.
Like, well, like, you know what I mean? Like,
what usually stops introverts from just going up to a stranger, talking to them, is fear. Lack of self-confidence. So in the mind of an introvert, it's like, oh, like, I want to talk to this person. They even want to. You know, I would want to go up to that girl and ask her for her number, for example. But it's just a fear of rejection, fear of whatever. And so it's just about taking that leap. It's about leaving your comfort zone. A huge part of it, leaving your comfort zone. That's probably the fundamental part of this whole process. And that's just something that you have to force yourself to do. And then you do it, and then you realize, oh, it wasn't actually that bad than I thought. But obviously, after that, you're not just going to be like magically extroverted. You do it again, and you just keep. It's practice. It's practice. Fake it until you become it.
Fake it until you become it. Act it until you become it. Fake it till you. I love that. I love that saying. It's I don't. Yeah. I mean, as an extrovert, I have this belief, and I see a lot of people do it. And when I talk to you, it's like the kind of like the 5-second rule. If you want to do something or talk to someone, you have 5 seconds to do it, or what ends up happening is the anxiety and the pressure of like talking to that person amplifies. And now seeing you like in social settings, it's really fun going to social settings with you because I've seen your growth from 2016 to 2020 where it's like you at least now vocalize who you want to talk to. Because I remember 2016, 2017.
What do we do?
We went to, what's that France thing again? Monaco. We went to Monaco together.
Yeah.
And, I can't believe we did that.
Yeah.
And you're like, I really want to talk. I forget who this fucking person was, but it's like, I really want to talk to this like CEO because I want to. And I remember like the fear of like not wanting to go up right away. And then I had to be like, oh, come on, follow me. Let's go. And then I do my whole like Jonathan, like, and then I go, hey, have you met Markian? And I do my whole intro, which is like, Markian's the best fucking person in the world, blah, blah, blah. So then that lifts you up. Now when we go to a social setting, it's like you see someone and you'll like just, without hesitation, you'll be like, I really want to talk to that person. So it's like, boom, automatically right away, Markian. I'm like, okay, I know where's his brain at. And then two, granted, sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but you're still like, all right.
Yeah.
I want to talk. And you have to be very proud of yourself for that.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
No,
I just wanted to compliment you for a second because that was like,
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful how my like personality has evolved. It's just, I've learned to express myself in a different way and in another way. And I'm able to have lots of great connections with people.
I mean, sometimes I'm not, I don't want to say the word jealous, but I think sometimes there are moments where, because, okay, as an extrovert, I get a lot of stimuli I get a lot of energy from stimuli. From when dopamine levels, like I need, there we go. I need stimuli to hit my dopamine levels for me to be productive, right?
Yeah.
And so like when I'm alone in my office or in this fucking studio alone,
yeah,
I am the most lethargic, depressed individual ever. And then the only way that I can get the energy up is that I have to like go out of my bedroom, which sometimes can be very hard if you're already depressed, and then go to like a safe space that I go on regularly. So if it's not a friend, then it'll be like a restaurant that I always go to. Get like some sort of energy from there, and then go back and be productive. And sometimes I wish that I could just be alone and be productive, but more importantly, like be less anxious when I'm with myself. So like, you know how introverts, they get anxious when they're in public?
Right.
I get super anxious when I'm alone. I don't know why I wanted to tell you that.
No,
I just wanted to.
I get that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, you know?